We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Did I say welcome to the main event?
Run that thing, bro. Are you mad?
Oh, man.
Behave before you talk about what I'm talking about, yeah?
Disclaimer.
Run that thing back. Nah, man, stay there in your corner, man. Run that thing back, fam. I don't want to hear nothing from you.
We are live, guys. I'm J1 Further, the Cyber Nerds.
With your GS.
Mr. Blitztek.
And we're back with another Moon Knight review, episode 5, discussion, breakdown, thingy-majiggy. If you haven't already, jump in the comment sections and just start us off. I know usually I'm telling you to subscribe and hit the thumbs up and notification bell, and I'm telling you to do that as well. But just comments, innit? Because I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the episode. I'm really excited about the direction I'm not going to say we've taken, but like we've finally arrived at, even though it may be the end of the season, the series. Like, I'm still glad we're here. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling like for me, I feel like we can save the season. Almost. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'll take this whole episode as fire. I'll take 50% of last episodes as fire. And if the season finale's fire as well, we're at 50-50. But for me, I think there's an opportunity for the end of the season to enhance the beginning of the season by giving us more context and like fleshing out more stuff for the character, innit? So where do you man want to...
Do you know what's so mad, yeah?
Go on.
Is that last night we was watching Legion. And man's over here now in the cycling thing.
But
like,
do you know... Go on.
It's just so mad, like, man bending. Like, this whole, like, just balancing out the memories and figuring out who's who. Like bro, it's a whole man twanging thing.
One of the things that's deep about that, yeah, is that the way I got to Legion was because of this, bro.
Okay.
So like, bro, man was watching last week's episode of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, I need to understand more of this stuff. So it took me on like some rabbit hole. I went to go watch Eternals. I watched a couple episodes. I watched the finale of Loki again, and then I watched Legion. And I was just like, because we're dealing with like the mind, but we're dealing with spirituality. But then I was like, how does this tie into the cosmic stuff that they're doing? So that's why I watched everything that I watched. And then I'm like, it's just all started to make, like, it's all lining up. Do you know what I'm saying? So I love that, like, in this episode, we went, I will say, full Shutter Island, really got into Steven's mind, dealing with trauma, dealing with how he's coped with his trauma, how his trauma is manifested into people, actions, memories he remembers, and all of that. You get me? Right. So I just, like, I'm so...
What's deep, like, it's so deep, like, the way, like, since last week it's been going with Moon Knight, yeah? Because obviously, after doing the watch-along, I think same day, I did the reading watch-along, and I'm doing Moon Knight, and we're just straight in the mission, and, like, before that, he's talking to his doctor, and then we're on to this next issue, and it's like, no, you're not talking to Mark, you're talking to Steven. And then, like, the inspector. And then it's like, few pages left. Oh, no, you're not talking to him anymore. You're talking to someone else. And, like, and I'm in the stream. I'm baffled now. But because of the last episode with the sarcophagus, I'm like, bruv, is this where we've always been, like, with the mind and the third personality and all this stuff? Like, and today, with this episode, you're just like, this thing is fire. This thing is so fire, innit? So now it's just like, how are we going to conclude this whole thing with Steve and Mark and everything else? Like, bruv, like, it was just so deep the way they took us today, like, with the memories. And the way they delivered it as well was like, it's mad.
But this is the thing that pisses me off here, because I'm like, I feel like in the first 3 episodes, they tried to make a Marvel show.
Right.
And then now we're like watching a Moon Knight show.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I understand trying to balance the tone of the universe you've made with the tone of the characters, but I think the tone that we've got in this episode, 50% of the last episode, is still the Marvel tone, like, when you look at it, but you're telling the story of this character, which is fine, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I also love the reveal that Steven is a, let's say, defense mechanism for Mark's trauma, yeah? But, like, I like that Steven, the goofy guy that we started with, is not, like, you know, we was battling about the tone. And you're like, nah, I like this tone. And I'm like, nah, I like this tone. I'm glad that... I don't want to say my tone, but Mark has won over. And it's Mark. And it's not Steven. Even though, like, in the latter episodes, I've grown to like Steven more and more the less I see him running the show. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what's so weird, because when they do flip it, like this is...
It's terrible.
What? This,
when Steven's in control, full
Right,
control,
yeah.
and Mark's popping up, I don't think the tone works. I think
Okay.
the tone works when it's Mark and then Steven showing up, or like this, where it's like, we're 50-50 in it, but it's really Mark.
That's what I feel about the whole season, because it did start with Steven first, like comical kind of tone, and they kind of try to lead into the drama. That's when I was like, I don't like it because of how it started. But now that they're flipping it, it's now more Mark, less Steven.
Because Bruno
again
always
like when they try to balance it, like there was an episode, I think it might be in episode 3, where like, oh, you're trying to do both, it's not working. But now that they're flipping it, even the whole season's doing that as well. More Mark dealing with Steven. Now I'm like, the tone is again correct, where it's like super dramatic, more serious. You got the comedic tones now, but it's not the overall thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, again, it's still fire, but no, the whole thing is just legit. How they're just dealing with everything is legit. Saying that you guys are dead. This is the astral plane of
your mind, your mind. Of your mind, very Marvel was sick with that, bro.
I can see like Black Panther and their astral plane and all that kind of stuff, bro. That link there is, for me, is a really legit.
Do you know what? Yeah, it's fun. It's to me, it's like my mind was there already, but it's like they still do it for dummies. Where when she was explaining it, she was like, "Oh, like the astral plane," just so anyone who's not keeping up understands. And now, what I think's even deeper, someone might be like, "Oh, well, how can the astral plane be different there, but different here?" And what I would say is, even in Black Panther, when T'Challa dies or takes the herb and goes to the astral plane, he sees something very different to what Killmonger sees. When Killmonger takes the herb and he goes to his astral plane, he goes back to the ends and he sees just his dad. While Black Panther or T'Challa sees his lineage and the religion that he grew up with and all of that. Whereas these man are, well, 50% is in a mental ward and 50% is in ancient Egypt and all of the stuff that these man believe in. So I just love how they're like, listen, it's all the same, but it's all different. But it's all the same, you decide. Much how it is in real life, but man, then want to. It's another story for another time, innit? Get me.
Oh my days. Bruv, how did they just give us 6 episodes?
For me, I'm concluded. If this was the ending, I'm good.
How?
It's funny because
there's too many things left untied, bro.
There's a lot of tethered threads that they can like dive into, but like her saying, "Oh, you guys are on a balanced thing." Like obviously, as the audience at this point was like, "Oh, it's probably the third person that you're not coming out." They're about to get to the plane of rest where she kept talking about. Obviously, we then discover how, like I said, he became a coping mechanism for his trauma. We go through how, well, the actuality of how Mark sees his mum and how Steven sees his mum. Man goes overboard when actually, helping Steven when he's like usually the one that's.
He became himself.
Yeah, like
he understood that. I am one. Therefore, because Steven's not needed anymore.
And then man is actually at rest.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So if this is the conclusion, I'm like, I want to see a 6th episode because I still believe that it's going to be legit. But I'm like, raw. The ending for me was legitimately good and mad at the same time.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I think for me the thread of I need to understand where his psyche is actually belongs in the universe. For me, that is the answer to the show. Do you know what I'm saying? So I need to know if Mark is actually a mental patient who exists in a mental ward and none of this is real, or if he actually was in that thing, did get shot, and is on a battle with the afterlife and thinking about returning to a real world again where he is the avatar of Khonshu, Moon Knight, which I don't want to happen. I don't want that to be real. I want him to be in a mental institute. I want this to leave and Mark just be like, still here with his toy. And this is just a toy that is made in a universe where the Avengers and all of that stuff happen and Moon Knight is not real. Because think about it, the Moon Knight that they've given us, think about all of the suit stuff. It's not been great. So what, what? Bro, that's the worst part of the show. It's legitimately the worst part of the show. We don't need to add this brother to the Avengers, bro.
And that's where I think if episode 6 becomes a Marvel show again, I'm like, we had it.
Yeah, I don't think they can go there with it. I think
you don't think it's gonna come back.
Please
even
don't.
Though in his mind, like they even said how Mark came to be Moon Knight. You don't think it's gonna end man being Moon Knight again? That's what I'm saying. So if this is the conclusion,
I hear you.
Man's like, woo.
Then if that's
and it's like the whole totem thing, bro.
I haven't seen enough good Moon Knight action to come to that side and be like, that's going to be acceptable for me.
Bro, that's what for me.
And we still haven't seen the third what's in the sarcophagus, if we're even going to get that, bro. Are we even going to get that?
That's what I'm saying. So all those
They
friends...
could just leave that out entirely.
Entirely.
Oh!
That's for me, it's way better being questions up in the air than actually being answered.
Okay, so then what I would say is, if he does become Moon Knight in the real world, then I'm with you. I never want the third sarcophagus opened.
Yes.
Boom.
Because it's like,
I know what
as audience, we're like...
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the...
Isn't it?
Yes. But if he is in a mental institute, then I want the third sarcophagus opened at the end. So season 2, we're like, I thought he was balanced. Now we're unbalanced again. Another mental ride. Like another therapy session. I'm with that for season 2, just being therapy. Like,
So man, just finish.
why not, bruv? That's not finessing, bruv. That's real, fam. Now we're exploring the mindset of individuals who live in the MCU, bruv, who are affected by what's going on, just in an isolate. This is how we make Spider-Man a neighborhood Spider-Man again, bruv. Like, we've just got a full story of a guy dealing with trauma who believes he's a superhero. He ain't a superhero. But, hey, we was entertained for 6 episodes. And it ain't got to lead to fighting Galactus or something. Do you know what I'm saying, fam? I'm with that. I'm with it.
Oh my days.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you're with, innit?
It's mad.
Jump in the comment section below. Bare mythology. Bare speculation on where you want it to go. Bare speculation on where it's probably gonna go. And just let us know everything. Just go ham, innit? And if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop a banger. Subscribe to the channel, road to 200,000 subscribers. And yeah, man. Jump on Discord, hit us up there. We're going to be talking about Moon Knight. Other than that, I'm Jay, one third of the Cyber Nerds.
Revenue GS.
So I'm Mr. Blitztek.
See you next time.
Peace.